This has been an interesting and I think exciting ride for procurement and supply chain over the last 25 years or so. Some of us are old enough to remember the era where purchase orders were on paper in 3-part forms with carbon paper between them, and glad to see that the first wave of digital technology, companies like Ariba, digitized the process, moved on to the internet, and really transformed our industry. It gave us, for the first time, lots of data on what we were buying, and it was a pretty dramatic transformation. Another generation after that of cloud-based providers, cloud-first providers, took the work that had been done with firms like Ariba, and these are now companies like Cooper and iValua, and really transformed yet again the procurement space with a bunch of cloud-first applications to automate the process. Since then, we've seen a proliferation of best-of-breed companies filling in product gaps and functional opportunities with specific point solutions in best-of-breed. And we think all this sets the stage for what's to come next, which we think is an era of predictive technology, machine learning, artificial intelligence, game theory, really transforming procurement again. We call it predictive procurement orchestration, where we're not so focused on the workflow as we are on the actual decisions, fundamentally making better decisions so that you can scale better outcomes, faster decision processes, faster overall processes, and just broadly really change the impact that procurement has on your organizations. So if you just move forward, we think we're excited to be in this next stage. For us, that means applying a set of technologies and strategies across these 5 elements. So data science, of course, is the foundation, and we really do think of this problem as a data first. How can data be used to change the equation? Then we add in human science. We recognize very clearly that the participants in these interactions are not mindless machines, they're human beings. In some cases, procurement professionals, in some cases, salespeople, and the application of game theory can drive better outcomes, thoughtfully approached and codified in applications. Dynamic supplier feedback is the next element, which we think is a natural evolution out of the game theory discussion. And this is something that we use in our application extensively. Pricing theory, really how we think about the fundamental problem here is from a pricing and a pricing data perspective, more than just from a spend perspective. And we think this gives us a fundamentally different and better perspective on how to solve this problem. And all this in the context of automation. Nobody gets more people. And so to the extent that we can make things efficient through automation, we want to do this. The exciting thing for us, and I think consistent with the theme for today's AdCo, is this techniques has proven to be category agnostic and agnostic as to buy type. So we've applied this for contract spend, for large strategic sourcing projects, but we've also had remarkable success in the spot buy space. Regardless of the commodity, the category that's being bought on a spot buy, we've seen dramatic application of these techniques and approaches through our application with our early customers, and that's pretty exciting. To be able to add value, not just in the traditional high-touch strategic sourcing, high-value transactions, but also in the everyday transactions that all of us have to go into the market and quote. This has been a pretty exciting part of our solution set as we've evolved it and rolled it out. If you can go to the next slide. No, did you skip one? No, okay. So let's go to this. I think there might be a slide missing, but this is a good example of what we mean when we say better outcomes using the application of our technology. So this is an opportunity we had in a case study of looking at the value we drove with and without our machine learning driven suggested price. Those of you who know us, we don't run a traditional quoting process. We a priori establish the price, and then we invite suppliers to bid on the basis of that price. And this is a pretty dramatic step up where without and with the suggested price, you can see the difference in the savings that the customer realized. This happens to be an automotive, and this is across a pretty reasonable quantity of line items and events so that we got a good mix. We feel, I think on this slide, I would make the point of this stuff works. Right? We've had enough data in the industry to look at the techniques that we're using and the algorithms, the application, and saying, do we drive a better outcome? And the answer is yes, we do. And this slide is a good example of that. The other thing I think it points to, and part of our vision, is we want to move procurement to a space where we can routinely be doing A/B testing on algorithms, on text, on application features. We want to use science, math, to drive progress in incremental value in our application and in procurement for all of our customers. So again, a good example of here being able to see a with and without and have confidence that this particular ability, in this case, our ML-driven suggested price, drives real value. If we go on to the next approach. So we're going to get there in the short term by making investments in a few key areas. And again, broadly, what we're trying to do is help you reduce cost, help you reduce time, and help you reduce risk. The areas that'll come through in our product planning, how we think, and I know Ben's going to talk later about some more specifics on this, are things we can do in our application to increase addressable spend. How do we change the application so it structurally works with more spend? How do we recommend which spend to address? All of you on this call have far more opportunities than you have time. And so to the extent that we can say, here are the places you should focus for the best possible marginal improvement in outcome, that's what we want to do. We want to help you focus on the places where you can make the biggest difference. Generally, we want to drive better outcomes, as you saw in the last slide. And for those of you who are our customers know, we're obsessed with driving better outcomes. Long term, we want to take on the supplier discovery challenge of who should I use, not just in my existing suppliers, but across the entire supplier space. Who should I invite into this event, and who should I be working with? And all of this wonderful technology has to integrate seamlessly into your existing tech stack. We're an application of many in your technology environment. We have to consume data, we have to integrate into process flows, and that's a big piece of our thinking, is how do we seamlessly integrate across that. So our goal this year, we're making progress on all 5 of these circles, all in the spirit of reducing cost, time, and risk, using the 5 elements we talked about earlier. We're excited. This is going to be a great year. Thank you for joining us on the Advisory Council.